Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy. B-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. The teacher's about to teach. So put your seatbelts on, put your thinking caps on, get your popcorn. We about to get busy. Writism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I'm taking it to the book. I got a nice lesson for you today. Let's go. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, damn it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment by any means necessary. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's the creed, that's the mantra, that's our battle cry. Excuse me. Knowing thyself. It's a rhetorical question, but I got to answer because you need to have the answer for yourself. And if you don't, I can help you out with that. That's why I do what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard it. I'm just saying. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. I appreciate you too. A person who knows not and believe that they know dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, is asleep spiritually. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock. Wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'm taking it to the book. Know what I'm working with. Okay? Today we're gonna get into my boy Heru. I've been talking about it, introduce you to him. You see a body with two heads, okay? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get a good lesson. Hope you understand it. Since I introduced you to Heru, that's really the bottom of the tree. So we starting from the bottom. We're gonna work our way up. I got you. Let's do this. When I get through, you will too be Heru. Let's go. Now this is called right thing. Let's talk about Q&As. I got some questions. I got the answers right here in the book, but it's a lesson in this answer. So we're doing Q&As about, first is going to be Ra, and the first question is, what is Ra in relation to the Anuian theurgy? Is he a supreme being or a god? Good question. And not to like a good question. Why? Because you can really answer it with a nice little, lengthy paragraph of information that answers that question. That's what we try to do right now. So the question was, is Ra a supreme being or a god? The answer, Ra in time and space. Remember, Ra represents that thing we see in the sky. Okay. Time and space and the personality, which they call best, which is the little guy, the icon or the image, that the supreme being, aka the virtue, that's the God who got everything, the all-encompassing God. Now this has assumed and delegated to what? Complete the work of creation. We all know that God is all everything, but He is creating, right? Watch this. He's creating where? Now in time and space. Before there was anything, there was the known chaos, total possibility, undifferentiated. Oh, they got all that stuff. Let me get moved to the lesson now. Now, the Pacific creator aspect is Kepri, the scarab. You see the morning sun, that's self-created. That's the concept. He created himself. When scarabs come out, they come out full born, full ready to go. Okay, they're born grown. And the concept of that is when the dawn. Okay, we all come from dumb. Conceptually, why? Bad situation. The lotus flower that we respect and use as another symbol of growing into the light opens up, blossoms to God. But it's in the muck and mire and dirtiness. So we come out of dumb, ready to do what we do. So that's the concept right quick. I just want to run that out. That was my head in my mind want to get out. So watch this. Now the Pacific creator, again, the aspect is the aspect. These are all concepts and aspects. Kepri, watch this. The sustaining aspect is Ra, the sun. And the dissolving aspect is Tim. You got three phases. He's Capri in the morning. That's why he had the head with the scarab head. He's Capri sunrise or Heru on the horizon. But we know that's Capri. At high noon, he's Ra. At the highest point, he's the most high God. All that conception, all that symbology that we hear but don't understand. I try to give you an insight on that. Okay. Ra is high noon and is prime. 3 phases of life. Newborn, prime. Then he goes into the west, going down. Old age, Tim. So Ra Tim is Ra going down. Those 3, watch this, here you go. Those 3 are aspects of the same one singular divinity. Aspects means it's going to change, progress. Remember, Ra in the morning, Capri in the morning, high noon, Ra, highest point, going down, Tim. So it's aspects, and just like phases of life. Watch this. Now, when it's manifested in time and space, and this trinity engenders what? And oversees creation through the other lower divinities, which is what? When the supreme divinity is not manifesting in time and space, we call it Nabercha. He's there. Or Miher, the full one, the mighty one. Or I introduce you to Net or Nat, etc. These are all aspects of the single God, the high God, when he's just in his position. Now you got Ra, is like what? A part of Nabercha that has taken a form and became the diligent employee. Let there be light. Ra. Same thing conceptually. Okay. Remember, this is the ancient concept. We deal with the modern concept. I got a problem with that. I'm gonna bridge them 2 together. I know both, so I can do that. Okay. Now, Ra is the employee of God. As I said, the delegated employee. Is put there to do what? Shine. Shall we say the minister of the supreme and all-encompassing being of the Bircha, and the Bircha is the what? Transcendental being, or Miher, or Heru Kuti. Okay, and Noon is another name which we may think of as even more transcendental in a sense. Why? Because of Hakuti, none does not give you. Excuse me. Oh, no. Okay. And Noon is another name of which we think of as even more transcendental in a sense. Why? Because Noon does not give you what? So much of an idea of a personality. Why? A gender or form is formless, is personalityless, it's just nothing, it's nothingness. Okay, but potential, aka chaos. Now, even though through a picture of Noon, we see a picture holding up, Noon does not give you much in the idea of personality. Okay, really, Noon is what? Undifferentiated matter, meaning potential, which has no form, is abstract. The form is from what? The lesser advanced minds. But when you start thinking, here you go, of Noon, aka the abyss to modern, with an advanced perspective, not the elementary nonsense, advanced, you start to thinking of what? Expansive, transcendental, undifferentiated water. The earth is 75% that undifferentiated water. 3%, 3/4% water, formless waters. But within those formless waters, there is what? A singular transcendental consciousness, aka the all, the absolute, the Nebuchadnezzar. That's who's in control of the things that's not in time and space. That's how we know somebody's in control, something's going on. We call it consciousness. Watch this. When that consciousness, here you go, takes on a personality, meaning what? That part of the undifferentiated matter takes on what? Differentiated shape, which, watch this, human beings call God. That is what? The beginning of time and space in the form of, when I do that, I'm pointing to the sun up in the sky, Ra. Okay. This teaching, watch this, is supported by the myth of Ra in Aset, who she wanted to know his real name. Ra is what he presents himself to be. Watch this, where it is asserted that Ra is not his real name, the divinity underlying Ra. Ra is merely what? A front if you will, a mask that appears in time and space. We can't never see the face of God. Why? It's impossible. So he put something to signify himself, but which is what? Transcendent. When we move to the absolute, when we discover, here you go, the true and the unspoken name of Ra is here, more will be given in the next lesson. I'll break that down for you later, but he is here. Next question. Good question. Hope you got that answer. I got room for one more, but this is a quick answer. Do all these divinities have these different aspects? Except the elements. Shu is going to be Shu. Tough Newt's going to be Tough Newt. Ra's going to be Ra. Okay? Gad, Earth, the Newt, Heaven. They don't change. They're unchangeable, like the lies. They're unmovable jewels. Stay in place. Okay? So they're permanent. Now the spirit, the soul, that's what changes. And the question is, do all these divinities have these different aspects? And the answer, yes. Watch this. For the most part, they all have different aspects or parts, and some are more concrete while others are a little more subtle. Remember, the more subtle it is, the higher up it is. They also have some aspects that are more important than others, or rather may say that some are more dynamic, while others are more passive or more just mundane and hard aspects. And some are more important for aspirants at different levels. Again, there's levels to this. When certain teachings are learned at different levels of spiritual evolution, you raise your conscious level, and perhaps Heru has what? The most aspects or forms. He got 7 of them. They represent the 7 chakras. You raise it from the bottom to the top. The top, you come Heru Earth. That means you're an enlightened being. You're a master on physicality and time and space as a human being. So next question, does Heru principle, again, that you live by, have to be mastered before moving on to other divinities? You have to master each one as you go. You can't get past Heru till next one up is going to be that mortality. You need to master Heru first. We're going from the bottom to the top. The bottom is Heru. Well, I thought Heru was the top. See? Don't thought about something you don't know. Stop with that I thought when you don't know. It's better to just know you don't know. That way you can learn. It leaves the brain open to be, enlightened. But if you lock the brain because you're thinking something that you don't know, you can't learn. Okay, quick lesson. Now, answer. Yes. Why? Because Heru is a neophyte. That means he's perfected, aspirant. That means he's moving towards what? Mature aspiration. If you don't have aspiration, meaning want to be better, do better for yourself, you are going to what? Move into discovering what the other divinities mean. You won't raise your consciousness. You never know what the other ones mean. You won't get past go, so to speak. Stuck on stupid, whatever you want to call it. But it's a process. Mastering yourself is a process because all these are aspects of your personality. Let's talk about the next level. You got Goddess Newt is the one, watch this, that brings you up to her. That's heaven. You can only get there, and she will bring you, watch this, up to her. She raises up who? Asar, her son. She does not raise up Set, which is her son also. He don't get raised up. And so one must what? Be able to master how to be righteous, how to be a righteous aspirant, aka right thinker. I get excited when I can mesh it together using what I know and what I'm getting so I can put it together. That's my point. Now, how to practice the teachings of right thinking philosophy. Calm down. Otherwise, one's aspirations will be what? Thwarted. That means interrupted, cut off, and even one's very desire to what? Study the teachings will be thwarted. Why? Because this is what Heru represents. One's very inkling, what? To study, to learn, to show yourself approved. Study the teachings. Also, if the desire for spiritual aspirations is tainted with Set, aka your ego, it gets in the way. Watch this. even if that person displays great devotion, meaning they want to serve God, they pretend they talk a good game, they want to great devotion, watch, or they do good works, watch that. That will be what? Contaminated by what? Egoism. So that spiritual practice of that person by that person will be ultimately what? Blocked. Why? Because they will be prevented from moving higher because stuck on stupid, ignorant, not opening up, not learning lessons, not trying to master themselves. I call them being mentally lazy, spiritually lazy people. They think God is going to come down and just bless them. Prayer without no works, it did. Thinking God going to do something without no works, same thing. So, okay, where we at? Now, watch this. Okay, the desire, here you go. The desire for what? Self mastery. If you tune into me, you have desire to do something, learn something, to be something. Why? That's what I do. I got no other purpose to tune in. If that ain't what you're looking for, I ain't the man. Scroll on by. I get it. I understand. It ain't for everybody. But the desire for self mastery is why you become a right thinker and a person to become enlightened. Again, I love it when my stuff work out. And that is Heru conscious, aka God conscious, knowing that self, and that person, the right thinker. But if you pursue Heru, watch this, in the wrong and ignorant, egoistic fashion, what'll happen? You will be like those aspirants who come to the lecture and start dictating to the teacher what the teaching is supposed to say, what the teacher he teaches is supposed to say and do. You don't want to teach it. That's like you come and tell me about right thinking. Ain't happening. And I've had people come in my class, I do, bringing his Christian concepts and belief, which means nothing. I try to make that clear without being disrespectful, but that ain't what I'm talking about. We ain't comparing. It ain't about what you think. It ain't about what you know. What you don't know, I'm trying to teach you. You should be listening, pay attention. And then once you acquire what you didn't know, you can compare it with what you do know and see what happens. That's called learning. And it's being respectful for the person who's doing the teaching. When y'all preaching and teaching, y'all don't want nobody to interrupt you. Question what you said. I can tell you, well, I ain't what I don't do that. It's called being respectful. I give it, so I always expect to receive it. Now, they will start talking. Here you go. Instead of what? Listening. The first line of listening, the first line of learning is listening. I'm the teacher. I should be talking. I know what I'm talking about. If you're the student, you should be listening. Simple. Now, why? Because they have read some things. Some people think they know something. Why? Because they have read a few. I got a bunch of books. That don't mean jack. I go to people's house. They just got a big library of books everywhere. They ain't read near one. Every book in my house, every book in my library, I've been in, and you can tell I highlight everything I do. I'm studying. I read. I learn to study. Why? So I can teach. Simple. Where am I down here? I lost my place. Running at the gym. Okay, that was okay. Yeah, they will start talking instead of listening. Why? Because they read a few things and they think that they know what they teaching, what the teaching all about after reading a few lines or hearing a few concepts. They selectively, there you go. I call it selective learning. You pick out what match your concept and you ride that. Anything that contradicts what your concept, what you thought, you dismiss that. Got a word for that. That's called being truth deaf. Got a lesson for that coming up too. Here you go. They selectively follow the teachings they agree with, again, or that go along with their egoistic desires of their intellectual convictions. And that pride and aspect of what? Egoism will keep them from what? Becoming humble enough to open up to the real learning. I just asked the question about what a wise person do. First thing is to humble yourself. Egoistic person is not going to be humble. That's why they missed the boat. That's why they sinners. Why they missed the mark. Simple as that. But here we go. But also understand this. Aspirants are Heru. Right thinkers, you are Heru in what? Your lower aspect. You're still a baby. Okay, that's why Heru Picard, he's still a kid. Heru Cadet, he's the warrior. That's where you want to get to be the warrior. That's what you got to go through this transformation. But however, watch this. Consider that people who have not been awakened spiritually, you're ignorant. They are not even at the level of Heru. Don't know yourself. So you're ignorant and blind. Blind, deaf, and dumb. You can't hear the truth. You're blind to yourself, your higher self, and you're ignorant of your higher self. So it's not a good combination. They all, watch this, like blind people or animals walk in the face of the earth. I have my concepts. I teach my concept, but I go to the book because the book contains the same thing. Living their lives on what? The basis of instinct and ignorance. That's the beastly nature. That's the third level. Masons. When you get 3 degrees, you're not a master mason. They tell you are, but you're not. You gotta get the red house. My favorite color. Why? Because there's some things you need to know. Starting with the heart chakra. That's the 4th level. That's why it's red. And then you be raising consciousness by speaking the truth. Makaru. And by doing that and practicing that, your third eye, your spiritual eye will open up because you become an enlightened being by living, doing things that you need to do will make that happen. It's an automatic thing. It ain't nothing you can do. You live it. Then the 7th round is when you got access to Akashic records, the higher self information that you don't have to go get out the book. You already got it up here. That's the concept. And watch this. Where we at now down here? You got oh no, okay. Now okay, like blind people, ignorant. Now that thwarts your intellectual. When you are ignorant, living on instinct, the 3rd level, that thwarts your intellectual capacities and the ability to follow truth. Why? Even when it stares them in the face. I made the argument about being truth deaf. If you are a believer in the well-dressed lie, when the truth presents itself, you ain't gonna recognize them even if I introduce myself. Hi, I'm here to tell you the truth about what you believe. You ain't trying to hear me. Why? Because you truth deaf. You believe a lie. So they can't go together. You can't serve 2 masters. So how you go? Here we will gain more insights into the number 3. I got to wrap this up. It's gonna be a 2-parter. Now, the 3 aspects of the Nikaku, the flare, are the areas to be controlled with what? Mastery of self. The physical realm, respectively. Another aspect that is represented here is that there are 3 basic modes of consciousness. Did you know that? Okay. That 3 is important. Okay. Okay. The physical. Okay. Well, excuse me. I missed the whole 9. Sorry, but let me go back a second. You want to control with mastery, which is the physical realm, respectively. Oh, the physical realm, then you got the physical is here. The astral realm, then you got the casual. Your conscious, your subconscious, and your unconscious corresponds to the ta, the pet, and the dua. Ta, the physical, pet, the astral, the dua is the casual. Those are 3 elements, those are 3 areas of higher consciousness that you need to understand by aspects of your character, your consciousness. And watch this. Another aspect that is represented here is that there are 3 basic modes of what? Consciousness, as it manifests in life on earth. One is the instinctive level, that's the lower level. Okay. One is the intellectual level, that's the higher level, 2nd degree. You try to learn to fight or flight, you need to learn a few things. The 3rd level is the level of intuitional level. You start to become aware of certain things. Self-mastery. But you still have levels to go. That's just 3. If you're opening at an instinctive level, you are no better. Watch this. If you're operating at an instinctive level, the first lower level, you are no better than the animal. The Sphinx shows you that. The beastly nature, that's lower level. You have to raise your consciousness. And people are called what? Animals. As we discussed previously, when you act a certain way, they call you in accordance with the way you are acting. If it's a walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. So then the chick is a duck. So call a spade for you spade players. If you are a lustful man, they call you what? A wolf, a hound, a dog. Yeah. If you are a heavy investor on Wall Street, I don't know if I gave that lesson before, but yet on Wall Street, they call you a bull. Okay? Then when you take advantage of things, you aggressive. Now, and consider that what's this? Your car. The sign for the car is hands going up, like the referee in the football game, touchdown. Okay. When you are caught up in what? Your lower nature. This is where we all get caught up in. Why? The lower nature is what? The egoism of Set. He's the first one that's going to get you. When you are controlled by your animal nature, lower nature, your ka, your astral desire body, the word ka is what? Phonetically for a pun on the ancient Egyptian word for bull. Starts to take the shape of what? An animal that you are mentally embodying at that time. So that you are emulating. This is why Set is, watch this. Set is an animal head. He does not even have an anthropomorphic form. He only got one form. He only got one form. That. Watch this. That one aspect, like Heru. That's why it's important for you to what? Act like your higher divinity. If you are acting like a wolf, your ka takes on the form of the wolf. And your body just gets in mood with that. Watch this. And if you know your ka is that which gives rise to what? Your ka, the body, the physical body, again, the physical body, if the ka is powerful enough, watch this, it will transform the physical body into a wolf, in other words, and this should not be strange to you. Consider that they're a joke that people who have pets start to look like their pets. Yeah, for example, if someone has a bulldog, the owner will have a bulldog face. Poodle, we know how that goes. It's a characteristic, but it's true. Simple as that. It's a fact. A person that has a poodle will have a poodleish kind of face, etc. And in the next lifetime, the people may become what? A bulldog or a poodle, depending how they interacting with that bulldog or poodle. Is it a blessing or is it your karma, what you deserve? So watch out and think about, what would you like to be? Who would you want to be? Would you like to be a poodle or a Set? Would you like to be walking on higher ground or on the curb with somebody scooping up your droppings as in what? Animal. And that is, if you are lucky, you have somebody to take care of you properly. And that's not the way most animals are treated in the world. As possessions, slaves, sources of food, etc. Animals get a bad break. That's the concept. Now I'm going to take you to this is the end of part one. I'll be right back. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got some more. I'm not done.